Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast, where we do interviews with inspiring and interesting people like our new friend Shari here to help our listeners, that's you, find the resources, tools, and support they need to be their best inspired selves. How are you doing today, Miss Shari?
I am doing very well. Thank you, Jackie. I woke up feeling more hopeful than in recent weeks. I feel like things are starting to come back to life. And so, depending on where you're at, and what part of the country, things are starting to open, people are starting to get together. So, there are signs of life.
Signs of life. I love that. So, where are you calling home these days?
Arizona. I was raised in Arizona,
Arizona.
go back and forth to Nashville quite a bit, but our roots are still here. So, yep,
Yeah, I
that's
actually lived in Tucson and Phoenix as a child. So,
oh,
um,
really?
yeah, it was different. I live in the Midwest now. I live in Milwaukee, so like not the same.
Oh, well, my husband is from Wisconsin, so the Milwaukee
See,
area.
all
So
of the good ones come from there and land in Arizona. I think that's what happens. So, Shari, thank you so much for taking the time and showing up on the podcast. I'm sure you have tons and tons of things going on or nothing. That seems to be the way it
Well,
goes. A
yeah,
lot
we're
or
somewhere in
nothing.
the middle. Yeah.
So would you mind telling the listeners just a little bit about who you are and what you're doing here with us today?
Well, I am a country recording artist, and I was raised here in Arizona. My husband is my bass player in my band. We met actually putting a band together. So we've been able to tour together, and this whole dream that we've had, we've been able to share. And it's been really cool because I was raised in a big family, and we were always making music, whether it was around a campfire at holidays or family talent shows or just goofing off, being crazy. But to be able to find myself in a career in music is a big blessing for me. So every day, that I have an opportunity to do this as for a living, I'm just very grateful.
That's so amazing. So I think we had mentioned early, like in the prep, that you also have small humans that you're responsible for. So are your children musical as well?
They are actually, yes, very much so. They play different instruments, sing, find harmony. So, we were always very much like it was for me. They have experience as well. So they write songs, they perform. They're just they're fabulous.
Oh, that must be beautiful. Just like this family full of talented musicians and like all the love that comes from that.
It's a lot of fun. It's been kind of see their friends come in the house and they're also musical, and so it was Christmas parties or here in the house. I feel like there's always music happening. We have a little studio set up, and so it's kind of in an open space in one of the front living room, and so it's very accessible. We wanted it that way so that when someone is feeling creative, they can just hit record creating, and we've had many late nights of just music happening.
Yeah. So how is the lifestyle different or is it different for you and your family with all of you being musical? Like everyone wants to know what it's like to be a country star. So
Well, I mean, I think the biggest difference is we tend to all be very spontaneous. We're very much night owls. We come to life, we get a second wind around, 9, 10 o'clock, and everything is a song. I know that's really funny, but we're especially just kind of goofy. So whether it's a song that we just randomly start singing to one of our dogs, or somebody will just something that sounds melodic, and then the next thing you know, somebody's adding a line and harmonizing, and it's a lot of fun. I feel like there's always kind of this energy. Plus, there's also a lot of emotion. To be honest, I mean, we're all very emotional. So even raising kids and getting to know one another as people, and understanding that and kind of going with the flow of that. And our case is very deep, and we've had a lot of late nights playing music, but we've had a lot of late nights just talking through things, and we feel everything a lot. So dramatic is probably a good way to describe us.
yeah. What'd you say? Impulsive, dramatic, late night owls, huh? That's got to
Yeah,
make for
yeah,
some passion.
especially very and we love the outdoors. So, just this last weekend, we were up in northern Arizona near Humphreys Peak in the Kachina Peak Wilderness, and we backpacked in and camped, and it was cold and it was a long hike, but we were at over 9,000 feet elevation, got out of the valley, and that's a huge part of our life too. So yeah, adventurous for sure.
That's amazing. So is there a lot of like campfire songs then? Like
Oh yeah,
it's like this
absolutely.
outdoor country together. Seems like there's a whole lot of like, you know, getting a
Yeah,
fire going and putting an acoustic guitar on your leg and just kind of
absolutely.
going.
Yep, you got it. That's pretty much the scene.
So do you play instruments as well as sing?
I hardly play. I play very little guitar. In fact, I just choose not to perform and play guitar. I'm not even working on honing that skill for a little while. Realized the way things were kind of growing and taking off. I have amazing musicians in my life. And if I'm writing a song, because very often I'll write with the melody and the lyric without any instrumentation or chord progression under it. And I just have these musicians who have this encyclopedia and already just at the ready for me. And if I put chords something, my library is very limited. So I've just learned to let everybody play their role. And I sing and write and perform, and I let these amazing musicians I have.
Yeah, that's awesome. I talked to recently. I've had a couple interviews with also country stars, and I was really touched by how much you guys um, value like the rest of the team. I think
Mm,
people hear you and they're like, look at this amazing artist, and but it's not like a one man band, even if it is a one man band, right? It's like there's a lot of people
yeah.
behind the scenes. So who's behind the scenes for you? What kind of
Oh man.
people are in your musical life?
Man, for me, I'm a very person. If I were in music, I would be in some kind of career that was very people oriented. And my team and my family and my band, gosh, they are just some of the most incredible, just remarkable people. We've got, of course, my PR team in Nashville, Anna and Dawn and Kerrigan and everybody they've got at Core PR. And then I've got people helping me that are close friends, helping me with graphics and social media and kind of like adding on to what Core is already doing. And my band, they're amazing. My husband is my bass player. The rest of the band are so incredibly talented and also very kind, very much a band family. I've got people coming out to do music video, live photos, and photo shoots. And gosh, we've just got, it definitely takes a village. I mean, when I go to record, I'm out in Nashville with these amazing engineers and producers and the Nashville players who, you write a song and it's, you want it to be a good song in its rawest form, just the melody, lyric, and an acoustic guitar. That's a great start. If it's good, then it's only going to get better. Then you have these amazing players chiming in, everybody having their influence. And by the time a song is done, they've all had such a definitive part in helping that to become what it was meant to be. So.
Oh, it's amazing. One of the things that I wonder what your perspective is on, I know people have been kind of sequestered to their homes
Yeah.
and they forget it's like a lot of the way you monetize now in music is by your live shows.
Yeah.
And so it's not just the artists, which a lot for you both being artists, there's one income stream there, but it's also like the stage crew and the roadies and the guys that set up the sound on stage. So what are people that are normally out on the road doing during all of this? Like, are they finding other ways to supplement their income or stuff to do? Like, what are you seeing from your perspective?
It's that part's been really tough, honestly. And, going back to the team question, my audio engineer, and my drummer both work for touring audio companies. When we're not touring, they're running audio for major shows. So they were furloughed. Of course, the studios in Nashville are still closed. So in fact, I have a bunch of music that I recorded at the end of the year that was mid process of mixing. That's just kind of on hold because no one's able to go to the studio. As far as what people have been doing, a lot of the people that I know, either their spouse has income coming in, or even, gosh, I have friends who've been doing online, whether it's, guitar or whatever, trying to just amp that part of the teaching side of things. But quite honestly, it's been difficult for a lot of people who are in this industry. It really isn't, there isn't coverage for that. Employment and that kind of come in because they're all subcontracting their work. They're not necessarily working for a company in every case. So It's been a challenge.
I think what I've seen different, which again, I think that people don't realize, is your independent contract. It's not, you don't have a job that a company pays you a salary or pays you. So if you're not working, there isn't unemployment, there isn't the PPP or all these government programs. It's just it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not always as glamorous maybe as everyone thinks it is, right? There's a lot of risk with the reward.
There is, and I think with all in this situation that we've never been in before, and I think being prepared financially for the unexpected is always important. So I think for any of us, if we have found ourselves not as prepared as we would have liked, I think moving forward, it's like having those funds to rely on when something falls through. Fortunately, my husband and I are also business owners. We started a collision repair business years ago when we first started making music, knowing that this is what we wanted to do, because when you're growing a music career, it's, there's not a whole lot of money in it in the beginning. So we needed that steady source. So fortunately, that business really grew and God really blessed it. And we have a great team. And I mean, that was questionable for a while too, with everything that's going on. We had to let a lot of people go. But then we were able to bring everybody back, and we got the PPP, and we have a great team over there. So that has helped us tremendously.
That's thankful. So have you and your band in any way done I've seen a lot of artists now doing like they miss people so much. They're like doing live music during the day on their Instagram and their Facebook. Yeah. Has that been something you guys have like resorted to, or what? How are you showing up with the music?
Yeah, we have done that. We've done a couple Facebook live takeovers. Fortunately, with everybody, we've got 4 people quarantined in the house, and one of them plays guitar and sings too. And of course, like I said, my family's musical. So we've been able to use resources without having to go beyond, the social distancing guidelines. But yeah, we did a couple Facebook live takeovers for radio stations in different states, and helped with a fundraiser in Santa Fe, and that kind of thing. We also did one of those things where it almost looks like what we're doing, it looks like a Zoom call. And we did one of my songs, Take That Shot, that was a few years ago. And I had all my band guys send me their video and their audio, and we put together a video for that. So it's been fun to kind of try to think outside the box.
Yeah, stretching some creative muscles that maybe weren't always having to do. Yeah. So what's next for Shari and the rest of the crew there? What are you guys looking forward to once the world like shows back up?
Oh man, well, like you mentioned earlier, with musicians missing, seeing people and playing out, we are all just like aching to play shows.
Yeah.
And that drives me personally. I love creating, I love writing, I love when new music comes out, but it really doesn't mean as much if you're not sharing it in that room with people. I mean, thankfully, because of technology, we've been able to share still, but I'll be glad when it's not, a square on a screen that I'm seeing, and vice versa. So I think playing shows, if everything continues to grow and open up, I know some larger venues have reached out to us just this last week. they want to keep their venues alive, and until they can have bigger gatherings, they're going to do some really high-end streaming shows. So they've reached out to us, bigger theaters, celebrity theater, lighting companies, stage and lighting, where they have all the gear, they have the room, they have everything. They're thinking outside the box as well. So they're saying, why don't you guys come and use our full staging and lighting and stream a show? So
yeah. So that would be fun, right? Some interesting
yeah,
way. So
yeah,
I wonder your perspective on this, like being you enjoy live music, being the performer. One of my other guests had said that the thing that was hard for them was, when you're performing over the internet, you don't get the energy back. Like he said,
that can be a struggle for sure.
they're not clapping. There's like scrolling
Yeah,
comments, and you're like, I can't read that. I'm gonna start singing the comments.
Exactly. I know you're kind of looking at the comments go by, and you're, you want to acknowledge everybody that's commenting and asking questions too. So fortunately, I've had some team actually log in to my account when we're doing these Facebook Lives, and they're able to continue the interaction, and they'll actually text me during and say, so-and-so is wondering if such and such, because then you've got it set up sort of as a set, so you're not really right on top of reading all those comments. But you're right. A comment means everything, and it's like you're not getting that direct feedback. It's been really cool though, because our fans have been so grateful every time we've jumped online and done anything. You see more and more people jump on, and I know for the first part of the quarantine, I actually was very sick. So for like 5 weeks, I don't know if it was COVID. At the time, there wasn't testing available, but I was probably sicker than I've ever been. And so for the first 5 weeks of quarantine, I couldn't sing, I couldn't talk, I couldn't contribute. It was killing me. But I really had a chance to kind of be on the receiving end of everything that everybody was doing online.
Oh.
And I was so grateful, and I kind of had perspective. And even though I was feeling really down about it, I realized once we could start doing that again, I kind of had a peek into what it really meant to log on and hear the music and hear the songs. The music is so healing, and it's so comforting. So
I found one thing that really struck me with the artist. I'm just like in awe of the artists, the way they've shown up for everyone. Like they started taking God out of schools, music out of schools, art out of schools. But when everyone was sequestered to their home and trying to find hope, they turned to music, right? They turned to those things that aren't important anymore. I bet you a lot more praying is happening, or meditating, or whatever your vibe is. But I was so encouraged by how much artists, like, you're not getting paid and you're just showing up and giving hope to people who are feeling really down, like you were saying. And it was beautiful to me to see, like, when things get tough, we all still go back to in our soul, right? We go back to music. Touches something different, I think, than just like, I'm a writer. There's something I do on this, that's my creative outlet. But it's not the same as a song. Like, it touches you differently. And so I'm really hopeful that maybe their arts and music and those types of things will be given a fair shot back into mainstream, because they're important, right? They were more important to us than math or science. Right? We're like, oh, I need to hear, right? You needed something for your soul to feel okay. So I think that was something I found really heartening and beautiful in all that we've seen happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a beautiful way to put it. And I think, writing is powerful, but I do understand what you're saying. There's something about it being carried on notes, and something about the way we're made, as human beings, and the way God made us, and how we receive, there's a level of emotion that can be conveyed when words and emotions and thoughts are carried on music. And it's been powerful for me to receive that as well. And I think as we move forward, I think you're right. We have this whole process, I think most of us have tapped into understanding the value of the human connection more than ever. And miss hugs, and we miss, just got people over, and we social distanced, but we were in the same room together. And it was almost like, wow, you're real right there. Like, you're a beautiful person, and you're one of my people. And we're just treasuring everybody so much more now.
I think it's interesting that in the face of all of what's happening for everyone, what is beautiful to me is that I think by staying apart, we're getting more of our humanity back.
Yeah.
Like the whole world is in this. Like it's not, there's no war between Germany and France and states and this and that. It's like everybody is literally not together, but in it together by staying apart from one another. And I hope it stays, that part of it stays, that connection and realizing the importance of being around others. And really, like, someone was telling me they hadn't seen their mom in 2 months because their mom was older, and they talked every day before that. They saw each other every day, but she didn't want her mom to get sick, and she was like hysterically bawling, like, then hugging her mom when they finally got to see her mom after 2 months. And I thought, oh, remember that when we're all back to being busy, because we're not always going to be here, and we don't know what's going to happen. So it's pretty beautiful to me.
I think that's really important to try to remember it, because I know it seems impossible that we could ever forget how we're feeling right now, but think about where we all were before this happened, and how life was just flying by. We were overwhelmed with things to do, and our thoughts were, I know for me, like sometimes I would have a hard time sleeping, just like trying to process everything I was doing and every conversation, and just input. And I hope we can remember to slow down and find that middle ground. And
maybe there'll be some songs about that are going to be coming out of all of this. I'm sure there's going to be some real good ones, right, that are going to evolve through all that people have gone through. Well, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Gosh, that must have been horrible. And I really appreciate you seeing us from the sunny side of the country.
Yes, I know. Is it snowing there?
Not quite snowing, but it's like 50, which is nice. But yeah, like a week ago it snowed, and it rained like crazy yesterday. So I chose to live here, so I can't get too mad about it. Right? So can you please tell everyone, if they're really interested in listening to your music and hearing more about what you've been doing, where can they find out more about you and your art?
Well, the website is a great place to start, sharirowe.com. Links to all the social media sites, but Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the usual spots, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, anywhere fans are used to streaming or downloading music, they can find that. YouTube, we've got like the video I was talking about earlier where the band, everybody sent their files, and we kind of put together take that shot video, and music videos, those kinds of things are all out there. But as soon as studios open up in Nashville, I've got, a song that's coming out called The Heavy. I've been waiting to put that out, and we wrote it, my co-writers and I, about a year. And this song in particular is so fitting for the times right now. And it's really about, the hook line is be the light in the heavy. And as soon as the studios come back, which should be soon, I'll be putting that out and putting out lyric videos to that. And I think we're going to try to do an acoustic performance of it as well, and do another music video. But I love connecting with fans. It means everything. And even though, I can't see everybody in person, connecting online is everything right now until we can be at shows together again.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. And I look forward to hearing your song. That's a long time to be pregnant with a song. Hopefully you get to give birth soon. Right? It's like, please, I need to give birth to the baby. But I look forward to seeing your infant when it comes. It'll be beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Jackie, for having me on.
You're
And you were just
welcome.
sweet, and I love everything that you're doing with your gifts and your talents and the podcast and your writing and
Oh,
raising
thank
a
you.
family and all that good stuff. So we are truly all in this together, and
We
you're
are.
doing a
We are. Thank you. Well, we look forward to hearing. Please let us know when you do have your song come out, because we love to make sure we share it with the audience, and because we're all
yeah.
waiting in anticipation.
Yay!
All right. See
Thank
you
you.
soon. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
God bless you.
Bye.